Girafarig used to be one of the scariest Pokemon in GSCUU. Despite mediocre base stats, Girafarig had access to the deadly combination of Agility and Baton Pass. Girafarig was GSC Orneo's premier Agility plus Baton Pass user, and man was it deadly. If Girafarig passed Agility to something like, I don't know, Belly Drum Politoed or Quagsire, then they could just set up Belly Drum, and unless your opponent had a specific counter to them, then the game was donezo. As you can see on screen, he immediately forfeits after a setup. After you lost the game, you would promptly turn to your team's Discord server and start complaining. Rightfully so, I hate Agility Pass. It also helped that Girafarig could pass Amnesia, which helped its teammates set up against special attackers. Girafarig isn't a bad Pokemon in its own right. Its move pool is quite vast and its offensive stats are usable enough. Girafarig could use Stab Psychic to hit prominent poison types like Nidoqueen, Haunter and Quillfish, or Thunder for the prominent water and flying types in this tier. Thunder is notable for thrashing Roar Gyarados, the tier's only notable phaser. GSCUU is very limited in good Roar or Whirlwind users. You have more good users of Haze, like Quillfish or Crobat, but they get hit super effectively by both Psychic and Thunder. Even if you run into the uncommon Roar Blastoise for example, you can just force it to rest with Thunder and then pass in peace. Girafarig's part Psychic typing was helpful, since Psychic is a powerful type in this metagame. Girafarig resists Psychic from Pokemon like Mr. Mime, Haunter, and Hypno, letting it set up against them. The best way to stop Girafarig is just to use Brute Force. Overwhelm it with a strong physical attacker not weak to Psychic or Thunder, like Granbull or Piloswine. Before 2022, Girafarig was mostly seen in the back, with Electrode or Mr. Mime setting up Light Screen or Reflect for it beforehand. In 2022 though, we saw Girafarig in the late slot more, setting up Agility turn 1 and possibly ending the game in single digit turns. You had to play perfectly against Agility Pass teams. If you made one wrong mistake, Girafarig would get that pass off and you would lose. Agility Pass teams were ravaging GSCUU. Players were living in mortal fear of Girafarig. There would be nothing worse than going into a tournament game unprepared and having a +6 attack, +2 speed Quagsire smack you in the head so bad that your head spins. Last March, I made a video on GSCUU Agility Pass, so you can watch that for extra information. It was the best time for Girafarig. It was perfect. Girafarig was a terror. And then Agility plus Baton Pass was banned. Oops. On October 19th, 2022, Agility and Baton Pass were banned from usage on the same set. Girafarig and Baton Pass as a strategy took a severe hit from this. Without the ability to pass speed, Baton Pass teams are much more difficult to get working. You can no longer pass Agility to Quagsire or Politoed and get a free win. Agility Pass teams, as we knew them, ceased to exist. In their place was the weird full pass teams with Pokemon like Barrier or Curse Mr. Mime. The Agility Pass ban was certainly a great thing for GSCUU, but not for Girafarig. Is there any hope for Girafarig without the ability to pass speed? Well, kinda. Girafarig is certainly viable, but it's very niche now. Personally, I rank it as the last Pokemon tiered as UU, ahead of all the UU crap that I consider NU like Kabutops or Vileplume. Baton Pass teams can certainly work in today's metagame, but I typically don't use Girafarig ones. I think Meditate or Barrier Pass Mr. Mime teams are the most dangerous forms of Baton Pass in today's metagame. You don't really need to use Girafarig here. Mr. Mime and friends get the job done perfectly fine. I think those full Baton Pass chains with Pokemon like Flareon, Girafarig and Mr. Mime are generally bad. They are too easy to overwhelm and too inconsistent. One way you can use Girafarig that I do like is using it as an Amnesia passer on Hyper Offense teams. With Girafarig, you can pass Amnesia or potentially Curse Boost to teammates like Scyther, Pinsir or Granbull, making them more secure against special attackers. It's still relatively difficult to stop a Girafarig pass. Phasers are rare and haze users are still unreliable answers. I like Psychic most in today's metagame. You want to be putting as much pressure on Granbull and Piloswine. Roar Gyarados is also not as common as it used to be. Some people, including myself, have thought about a Girafarig set without Baton Pass, but it's outclassed by other Pokemon. All-out attacking sets with Thief are mostly outclassed by Mr. Mime, while double setup sets with Curse and Amnesia face competition from Granbull, Scyther, and Pinsir as setup Pokemon. To end this video off, I leave you with this clip, where Girafarig tosses a 1 game by missing like 3 Thunders or something. I don't know, I haven't watched this in a while. Girafarig used to be a terror in GSCUU, but it went overboard. It got Agility plus Baton Pass banned, thus nuking its viability. Girafarig is a viable Pokemon in today's metagame, but it's a gimmick, and a risky one at that.